Hi, everybody, and welcome back for week number 5 of Introduction to Sports Medicine. This is Dr. Hardy's coming to you again for your brief overview of this week. All right, this week we are talking Chapter 7 in the Prentice textbook, Understanding the Potential Dangers of Adverse Environmental Conditions. All right, this topic is going to be fairly expansive. I don't want you to focus in on one thing in particular, even though our discussion is going to focus on heat illness. I want you to keep in mind that adverse environmental conditions is not just heat illness. It's also taking care in adverse environmental conditions of cold, of rain, of storms, lightning. All of those things are absolutely important. One of the things that I said in my career as an athletic trainer is I was always on high alert for lightning. I had a lightning detector that I carried with me at all times that measured anything within 40 miles. As technology advanced, I moved that to having an app on my phone that would alert me anytime lightning got within certain ranges of where I was at that moment, to keep me on top of those things, understanding when play should be stopped in an event, when practices should be halted, and doing the things that were going to keep my athletes safe. I oftentimes would run into coaches, administrators, others who felt like I was being too cautious, and I always shared with them that during my career, I'd never had a lightning-related death, and I wasn't going to start that day. That's something I've carried over even to coaching my own kids in Little League Baseball, in other sports, is no athlete's life is worth participating through adverse weather conditions, especially those that could cause death at their extreme levels. Those are things like lightning or heat-related illnesses at their extreme. Those are things that you really need to be concerned with. People die from heat-related illness every single year. There's a thing through the University of Connecticut called the Corey Stringer Institute. And so I know most of you in this class are probably too young to know who Corey Stringer was. But Corey Stringer was a defensive lineman who played for the Minnesota Vikings, who died of a heat-related illness during the Vikings training camp. This was a big deal. He was a big man, but yes, he was a professional athlete, and so he was in fantastic shape. But heat-related illness is not something that picks and chooses, hey, you're in great shape, no, you're not going to have to deal with this. Is it something that can affect people very adversely depending on a number of different conditions. And so it is vitally important to be aware of the concerns surrounding things like heat illness, lightning safety, cold safety. Those things are going to be especially important regardless if you are on the sports medicine side of things or if you're just a coach or a parent or an athlete yourself, understanding the dangers that exist with those different environmental conditions and how you can avoid those things. So this week, similar to what we've done the past couple of weeks, we're going to have an exam coming up in, I think, 2 more weeks here, but this week we're going to stay kind of on the same thread of we're going to have a discussion forum, and then we're going to have that quiz over Chapter 7. Make sure you look up all those answers for the Chapter 7 quiz. Get all those questions right. The discussion forum, this is going to be all about what are the things you can do to prevent heat-related illness. And I want to tell you now, hydration is a very, very important thing, but it is not the only thing. So I want you to keep that in mind as you are answering this question. Find some of those resources that are listed, the information that's in the textbook. If you want to go and grab stuff from like the Corey Stringer Institute, do it. Go get information from outside sources if you want to. Just make sure if you do grab stuff from an outside source, you cite that source. Let me know where you got that information. That's just best practice anytime you're writing something in an academic setting, is tell me where you got the information. It's okay to use other people's information as long as you give them credit for it. So make sure you give credit where credit is due if you go to those outside sources. But I do want to see you talk about more than simply hydration as a means for taking care of heat-related illness. Things like acclimatization, altering practice schedules, altering the equipment that teams are utilizing in those things, even canceling practices at extreme practices or events in instances of extreme weather is very, very important to keep in consideration. And all of those things go into planning for good treatment of heat-related illness. So please expand beyond hydration. I know that's super important, but give me more as you're writing this post. All right, that's all I have for you this week. If you have questions, please don't hesitate to reach out, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Otherwise, I'll simply wish you the best this week, and we'll see you next time. All right, take care, everyone.